Hello students, hope you all are doing great. I am Achal Chaudhary, working as an assistant professor, BBA department in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. So students, I am back with my online lecture series of income tax. So students, it's your lecture number 6 from unit 2. In previous lecture, we have covered income from salaries, income from house properties, their theoretical as well as numerical perspectives. Today we are going to start a new topic, that is profits and gains of business or profession. So let's start with today's lecture. First of all, let's understand what all income will be chargeable to profits and gains of business or profession. So here is a list of incomes. First is profits and gains of any business which was carried on by the SSE at any time during the previous year. Any compensation or any payment due to or received by any person in connection with their, you can say, termination or modification of their agreements for managing the wall, or you can say wall affairs of Indian company. Then income derived by trade, professional or similar association from specific services performed for its members. Any kind of export incentives like, you can say, any profit on sale of import licenses, or any profit on the transfer of the duty entitlement, or any kind of profit which is gained from the transfer of the duty free replenishments. So these will be covered under your export incentives. Then value of any benefit or requisite, whether convertible into money or not, arising during the course of the carrying on any business or profession which is related to your business or profession. Any interest, salary, bonus, commission, or remuneration due to, or you can say received by a partner of a firm from the firm in which he is a partner. If a person is working as a partner and he is getting the interest, salary, bonus, commission, any payment which he is getting from the partnership agreement from the firm in which he is appointed as a partner, so that will be chargeable under the profit and gains of business or profession. Any sum received under a Keyman insurance policy, including the sum allocated by way of bonus on such policy. So these are the list of incomes, these are the various income which will be chargeable as your profit from the business or profession. Next is basic principles for computing income taxable under the head profit and gains of business or profession. So first is like business or profession should be carried on by the SSE on whom the tax is being levied. Business or profession should be carried on during the previous year. For the your previous year income, for your previous year profits, the tax will be levied on that particular business or profession. Income of previous year is taxable during the following assessment year. So as specified in the income tax rule, whatever the profit is earned in your previous year, that will be taxable in your next year or assessment year. Like there are certain exemptions which we have already studied. So apart from those exemptions, these are the like a specific rule which will be followed in all type of income, in all type of computation of taxation. Tax incidence arises in respect of all businesses or profession. So profit and gains of different business or professions carried on by the SSE are like they are not separately chargeable to tax. They will be chargeable under the head of a proper head, like business or profession or salary or any kind of head. Next is legal ownership and versus beneficial ownership. So legal ownership is something whenever a person is legally entitled to pay tax, or the person is entitled as a owner of that organization. But there are certain cases when it has been noticed that the benefits of a particular business or profession has been availed by the any other person other than the legal owner. So in that case, court will decide who will be going to pay the tax on that particular income. Next is recovery of sum already allowed as deduction. If there is any kind of sum which has been recovered by the SSC during the previous year in respect of an amount of expenditure which was earlier allowed as deduction, so that will be recovered under the business or profession income. Then illegal business. So it's a kind of different thing. I know. Illegal business doesn't matter your business is legal or illegal. इनकम टैक्स हेड को इससे कोई मतलब नहीं है, इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट को, that whether your business is legal or illegal. All they want is आप टाइम टू टाइम रेगुलर पेमेंट करते रहे, रेगुलरली आप अपना टैक्स पे करते रहे. सो इलीगल बिजनेस से भी अगर कोई इनकम आपकी अराइज हो रही है, so in that case also that will be taxable under the business or profession income. Students, we have covered the income from salaries and house property till now, right? So those heads were quite easy. Those were not that much difficult. I know this is a little bit difficult concept for you because आपको बहुत सारी चीजें remember करनी पड़ेगी. You have to remember lot of the concepts. आपको बहुत सारी various deductions आपको assume करनी पड़ेगी, याद करनी पड़ेगी. So it will be a quite little bit difficult for you, but that's not an issue. आप धीरे धीरे whenever you start practicing your you can say numerical portion from this topic, particularly this topic, so आपको धीरे धीरे आदत हो जाएंगी, आपको धीरे धीरे चीजें याद हो जाएंगी, like what exactly various deductions which are available to a person, कौन सी deductions available होती हैं एक person को in under the income tax act. सो वो आपको टाइम टू टाइम ही आएगी, बट स्टार्ट प्रैक्टिसिंग द न्यूमेरिकल पोर्शन, बिकॉज जब तक आप न्यूमेरिकल पोर्शन नहीं करेंगे unless you will not understand these concepts properly. So let's have a just a look on the performa of the computation of income under the business or profession. So just have a look on this various deductions expenses which are allowed and which are not allowed under the income from business or profession. So whenever you feel like that you want to write down anything, so you can pause the video and you can write it down. Also, I will give you the PDF notes. So I don't think that it is a very like you will need to write down anything. But still, if you want to write down anything, you can go ahead. First of all, what we have to write down, we have to write down the net profit as per the statement of profit and loss. First of all, you have to write down the net profit. नेट प्रॉफिट जो आपका पीएनएल अकाउंट से ट्रांसफर होता है, ओके. Then you have to add on the various expenses which are given below. So you have to write down the expenses which was debited to the statement of P&L account, but these are not allowable. ये आपको allowed नहीं थे as a deduction, or you can say these expenses were not allowed, but still you have debited them to the P&L account. So you will add on these expenses which are given below. You have to just go through these expenses once, then only you will understand what are the various expenses which you have to add on first. After adding on the all the expenses which you have debited to the P&L account, but those were not allowed as a deduction, then after that you have to deduct the amount, you have to deduct the expenditures which are allowed as a deduction under the head, and these are not debited to the P&L account. So have a look on these expenses which you have to deduct after the adding up all the expenses which were not allowed as the deduction. Then after deducting all the expenses, all the deductions which are available to a person, what you have to do is now you have to deduct the income credited in statement of P&L account but not taxable under any other head. So these income you have to deduct these incomes from your income from profit and gains. Then after that you have to add on the deemed income. Deemed income जैसे bad debts or remission or cession of a trading liability. So you have to add on these kind of deemed income. Then whatever the amount you will get after adding on these deemed income, That will be your profit and gains from business or profession. So for your better understanding, we will do the we will solve the questions step by step. हम छोटे छोटे पोर्शन में क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करेंगे सो दैट इट विल बी हेल्पफुल फॉर यू, जो आपको समझ में आ जाए इजली. अगर हम डायरेक्टली जंप करेंगे टू अ लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन, टू अ लॉन्ग सॉल्यूशन पार्ट, सो दैट विल बी क्वाइट डिफिकल्ट फॉर यू, क्योंकि इतनी सारी चीज़ें आपको स्टेप बाय स्टेप ही याद हो सकती हैं. यू कांट डायरेक्टली जंप इनटू एनी डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन. नेक्स्ट इज एक्सपेंडिचर ऑन साइंटिफिक रिसर्च. यूजुअली स्टूडेंट्स ये एडजस्टमेंट बहुत ज़्यादा आती है आपके एग्जामिनेशन में, दैट साइंटिफिक रिसर्च के एक्सपेंसेस आपको गिवन होता है क्वेश्चन में. सो एट दैट टाइम आपको कंफ्यूजन हो जाती है, आपको कितने परसेंट आपको एक्सपेंडिचर अलाउड है एंड कितने परसेंट तक आपको उसका डिडक्शन अलाउड है. सो लेट्स हैव अ लुक ऑन दिस. If that expenditure on scientific research is allowed by a company engaged in a business of biotechnology or in any business of manufacture or production of any article, so in that case it will be 150% of expenditure incurred. Suppose if expenses which is given as in your examination, that in a question it has been mentioned that expenses on scientific research is 1 lakh, so you will get a deduction of 1 lakh 50,000 as it is given in the 150% of expenditure in first case. If it is incurred by SSC on scientific research related to business, then revenue expenditure or capital expenditure, whatever it is, then you will be allowed for a deduction of 100% of the expenditure which has been incurred. If it is paid to any kind of approved Indian company for scientific research, any notified approved university, notified approved university which is related to the social science or statistical research or any scientific research, or you can say any approved national laboratory, university, IITs, anything which is covered under this head, so they will have a exemption of, you can say, first two, that was your Indian company for scientific research and notified university which is involved in social science or statistical research, so they will have a exemption of 100% of sum paid. And if that expenditure is paid to the notified approved university or college which is related to the scientific research or any approved national laboratory, in that case you will get an exemption of 150% of sum paid. So this will be more clear once we will solve a question related to the you can say expenditure on scientific research. So let's solve a numerical related to it. Mr. A furnishes the following particulars for the previous year 2019-20. Compute the deduction allowable under Section 35 for assessment year 2020 and 21. While computing his income under the head profit and gains of business or profession. First is amount paid to notified approved Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore for scientific research. It is given for the scientific research, okay, rupees 1 lakh. Amount paid to IIT Delhi for an approved scientific research program, 2,50,000. Amount paid to X Limited, a company which is registered in India which has its main objective scientific research and development as is approved by the prescribed authority, 4 lakh. Expenditure incurred on in-house research and development facility as approved by the prescribed authority for revenue expenditure on scientific research, 3 lakh. Capital expenditure including cost of acquisition of land, rupees 5 lakh on scientific research, that is rupees 7 lakh 50,000. So let's solve this question with the help of a previous slide which we have covered, where what are the exemptions, what are the deductions which will be allowed under different categories. So here is a solution. Computation of reduction under section 35 for the assessment year 2020 and 21. first was your payment for scientific research. A person, if a company has done the scientific research, in that case it will be provided 100% deduction. But if it is done by the any, you can say, approved national laboratory or university or IITs, so in that case they will get the exemption of 1 lakh 50, sorry, 150%. So first was your Indian Institute of Science, which is your, you can say, approved national university or IITs, which is included in that portion. So that will be included 150%. So rupees 1 lakh was occurred in your scientific research. So 1 lakh का 150% क्या होगा? That will be 1 lakh 50,000. So your amount of deduction will be 1 lakh 50,000. Second is IIT Delhi. Again, it's a national IIT. It is a nationalized approved institute. So here 2,50,000 was the expenses. So again 150% of 2,50,000 will be 3,75,000. So this will be your amount of deduction. Third is your, you can say, scientific research has been occurred by the Indian company. So Indian company will get the exemption of 100%. So here your amount of deduction will be 4 lakh. Next was your expenditure incurred on in-house research and development facility. So there were two expenditures which were given, revenue and capital. So both were provided like 100% हमें expenditures देना है, but the expenditure will not include your cost of acquisition of land. So we will exclude the amount of cost of acquisition in your capital expenditure. So revenue expenditure was of 3 lakh. 3 lakh ka as it is, you will give the 100% deduction. Then in capital acquisition, it was mentioned that in 7 lakh 50,000, cost of acquisition of land was 5 lakh. So here we will count only 2 lakh 50,000 as your capital expenditure. So that will be allowed as 100% as reduction. So here total deduction allowable under section 35 will be 14 lakh 75,000. So students, you have to solve the question like this whenever it comes regarding the scientific research. If expenditure is occurred on the scientific research or any kind of research which is covered under the section 35. Next is specified business. So on, like you can say, on specified businesses, all expenditure is allowed during the first year, whether you can say it's capital or revenue nature. So here is a list of some specified business, which is setting up and operating cold chain facilities for specified products, setting up and operating warehouse facilities for storing agriculture produce, laying and operating a cross-country natural gas or crude or you can say petroleum oil, building and operating a hotel of 2-star or above category anywhere in India, building and operating a hospital anywhere in India with at least 100 beds for patients, or you can say developing and building a housing project under a notified scheme for slum redevelopment or rehabilitation framed by the central government or state government, developing and building a housing project under a notified scheme for affordable housing is framed by the central or state government, production of fertilizer in India, setting up and operating an inland container depot or a container freight station notified or approved under the Customs Act 1962, beekeeping and production of honey and beeswax, setting up and operating a warehousing facility for storage of sugar, laying and operating a slurry pipeline for the transportation of iron ore, or then setting up and operating a semiconductor water fabrication manufacturing unit if such unit is notified by the board in accordance with the prescribed guidelines, developing or maintaining an operating or developing maintaining and operating a new infrastructure facility. So these are the you can say specified business incomes. So these are the specified business which will be exempted from tax in their first year. So these like any kind of capital or revenue nature expenditure incurred on this will be you can say will not be considered for the first year of these business. So students, that's it for today's lecture. In next lecture, we will continue the same topic. And here is a question based on today's lecture. And this question has been already asked in your university exam. Explain clearly the deductions that are expressly allowed in computing the income from business under Income Tax Act. So you have to solve this question, and if you have any doubt, so you can ask me your doubts. You can clear all your doubts with me. Thank you so much for your time. Stay tuned for more videos.